tapped in to Viral Volley Media Podcast. Now here's your host, Rob the Sparrow, or the Rob on the Mic.
All right, good day, everyone, and welcome to a mashup version of College Volleyball Weekly / Viral Volley Podcast. I say that because we have a recent college athlete, or a current college athlete in Avery Jackson from Stanford, heading into our big sophomore year. And Geena Urango, when was your sophomore year? That's what I got to ask, because that was a while back. I remember working your high school matches, but I love having you ladies on after a huge win in the AVP Denver Open, the Contender Series. Had to have you guys in, especially after that big win. But I wanted to start first and foremost by saying, how did you two come together and play this last week? And I'm going to start with Avery because she's the youth on the screen. I'm a dinosaur. Geena, still outside the dinosaur phase, but Avery, you are the new hotness. So go for it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know, but Geena reached out to Billy and Billy just asked me, "Hey, are you interested in doing this?" And I was like, "Obviously, I can't pass up the opportunity." And then yeah, we got put in a group chat and happened from there.
Wow. Geena, what was the date of this ask or this request?
I think this is a kind of the beginning of June. Avery was still finishing up her last quarter of the year, so she was still up at Stanford. But yeah, it was about a month, I'd say, before Denver.
So is Billy Allen who put you guys together in this, assistant coach Billy Allen at Stanford? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was playing in the semi right before your guys' match. We won't talk about that because I was kind of hoping the old guys would have pulled through and Paul Lotman and Billy Allen, but must have been cool to see Coach there. Right, Avery?
Yeah, it was awesome to have a familiar face on the sidelines.
Let's go here. Avery, did you ever think that you'd be playing with sorry, Geena, a seasoned veteran like
Okay.
Geena in any kind of pro event?
Short answer is no, and obviously not at this point in my life, but like I said, opportunity that I couldn't pass up, and I'm super grateful.
Yeah. Well, Geena, walk us through your thought process in your decision to, based on this suggestion by Billy or, however that went about, like, what did you go through? Because obviously you had some boundaries to work around. I didn't realize that till we were going through the broadcast because you are actively playing in the league right now, or AVP league. Tony was unfortunately injured, had to step out. You've got a new partner in Devin Newberry, but let's let you talk from there.
Yeah, with contenders events as a league player, I can't play with anybody ranked in the top 50. And kind of funny story. So I do digital marketing for P1440. So I'm now becoming a little more familiar with some of the juniors players. And I remember last year seeing Avery, and she won the junior national championships in Huntington Beach. And so I kind of followed along with the college stuff this year, given that two of my best friends, Kelly Reeves and Angela White, coach. So I became a little bit more familiar with some of the athletes as well. So yeah, I kind of like had been brainstorming with them about some options of who to reach out to, and Avery's name came up, and I was like, I gotta ask Billy. And so Billy immediately was like, she's our best side out player. And I'm like, please give me her number. So that was kind of how it came about, was a little bit of a brainstorm sesh, but then also me being a little familiar with who Avery was and given her standout freshman year.
Wow, that's quite the pick and a huge, huge selection by Kelly Reeves and Angela White. I mean, both of them assistant coaches in their respective programs at UCLA and at LMU. Um, Avery, I mean, touted highly by so many people here. Um, you hadn't even played in an AVP event, and you're sitting here playing with Geena here this last weekend. Why did you decide to make this your first?
Um, I wouldn't say not that I decided to make it my first. I just think that like that wasn't intentional or anything, but I just think that again, like have to play with her. I mean, it was yeah, just an opportunity I couldn't pass up. So, and my coaches have been kind of on us about getting more experience during the summer, because that's going to help us throughout the college season. So, I think just with that encouragement, I decided, hey, let's go for it.
Wow. Well, you guys come in, debuted as the number 6 seed in Denver and dominated in modified pool play without dropping a single set. And I was blessed enough to work a few of those matches on the stream this last week and on Valley Live, but no opponent scored more than 19 points. Did you guys expect such success in this? Gosh, this first date, so to speak. And we'll start with you, Geena.
Yeah, we before each match we talked about our values and they were pretty consistent throughout the tournament, but one of them being intention and efficiency and a sense of urgency. So given that the elements were elevation and it was hot, I wasn't thinking long term. I was just thinking about how can we be as efficient as possible to conserve energy and play the long game. So yeah, I think we were just both really present and focused at the task at hand, and it helped us in the long run. So yeah, so that was kind of our game plan for most of the weekend.
Right. Now, how about you, Avery? I mean, pretty intense that you'd be playing with Geena here in that tournament, but did you expect that kind of a success? I mean, yeah, you've played some really good athletes in NCAA, especially Gulf Shores. I mean, there are some pretty crazy ones, twos, and three pairs out there, but I mean, did it measure up to what you're seeing at Denver through pool play and then through the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different game than college. But we'd been practicing a week before, and like Jenna said, we were pretty confident in our, especially, yeah, just our side out game. And we just knew that we wanted to come in calm and collected, and we knew that if we kept the control on our side, then we'd be good. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, winning your pool, your team was reseeded as the number 2 seed in the single elimination bracket. And again, you handled your opponents pretty, I don't want to say easily, but you definitely were executing efficiently and defeating Megan Rice and Kendra Van Sweeten, current NCAA standouts and Ashley Pater and Maddie White, and recent former NCAA standouts Maya Gessner and Jacinda Ramirez. And similar to how you won pool, no one's scoring more than 19 points. And again, not dropping any sets. And this is with the best of the best coming out of pool. Did you expect that as well going into the playoff brackets? And we'll go back to Geena on this one.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of nice knowing that Avery. I'm a little familiar with some of the older players like Kendra Van Sweeten and Megan Rice. So game planning wise, I kind of came in with some insight. And then what was nice was Avery balanced us out with having some insight about these college players who she's played against this past year. And so it was a collaborative experience. And you know, like I said, I'm never trying to think too far ahead. I'm just kind of like, what are we trying to accomplish here and what's our game plan? So I felt like we both contributed in such a way that it benefited us as a team collectively.
Yeah. How about you, Avery? Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just think we focused on keeping the control on our side. We knew that if we took care of the ball, then, I mean, Gina was talking to me about having nameless, faceless opponents, and so just focusing on that all weekend as well, especially in bracket play.
There is one point where I don't know if you got to listen to the commentary on the stream this last weekend, but there's a point where Geena was taking about 75% of the court, and I had asked our analyst, like, "What do you think's going on there?" And the analyst said, "Gina's telling Avery to get out of the way because she's got this." Because there's a in the final, you'd really begin to take over after the second set, but we'll get to that point. But you definitely had a mindset of just going point for point and really aggressively going for it. So, with that, in that final championship, you ended up facing arguably one of the hottest teams that finished 2024 in Devin Sowers and Carly Kahn. They too had very similar records going through modified pool play and through the brackets. What were your thoughts going into that match? We'll start with you on this one, Geena.
Yeah, I mean, I've played them a handful of times and they know my game pretty well too. So I was kind of expecting them to go at either one of us. And I mean, I really respect both of their games and Carly. I mean, I played Carly in the finals of the Central Florida AVP event and she played lights out. So I just, I think we were, like Avery said, it was just like, okay, I know them, but they're faceless opponents. Like they came out pretty hot, so it was kind of an upward battle for us, but once we gained that momentum, it was in our favor.
Yeah. Now, Avery, you presented an X factor here because let's be real, there's not a whole bunch of game tape on you to watch, and it was your first AVP. What was your mindset going into that championship match?
I mean, last game of the day, it's pretty hot outside, so I just give it max effort. That's all I can do. I just wanted to come in to each match, and especially the championship, with an aggressive mindset. I knew that, if I just rely on my training, like all will be well. So.
Now, were you too aware that the Denver Post had posted that there were thunderstorms on the way and a potential hailstorm, and that's why they bumped all the matches up?
I actually, when we were warming up on the court, I was like, I think I just saw lightning, but or maybe that was the day before, I don't remember. But yeah, we knew there was something maybe coming, but we actually didn't even know they had adjusted the time. We had planned on the 1 p.m. start. So yeah, we kind of were just, I think we were so zoned in, we didn't even take a look at the bracket and realize the adjustments.
Just keep playing so nothing tightens up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Devin and Carly kept their high level play in that first set against you guys, and Devin was blocking a ton while Carly is getting a lot of good touches in a decisive first set, 21-15. But what was the discussion between you two after that loss? Because you guys had been playing really well the entire tournament. So let's start with you, Avery, and then go to Geena.
Yeah, I think again, it was just our side a little bit of execution from us. Just getting our rhythm back, passing and setting out of serve receive. So we just talked about how we can bring the momentum back to our side.
Mm-hmm. How are you, Geena?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first match for most of the tournament where they were primarily serving me, which I've figured might happen as they're more familiar with me. So it was about getting a little bit of my first ball kills going, and trying to move the set a little bit to open up some space so that Devin wasn't as big of a factor for me. So yeah, I think I'm pretty sure after that first set we were just talking about like, okay, it's our side, we need to first ball side out here, and probably serving a little bit more, serving a little differently, to have them play into a defense that we would want.
Right, right. Now, with that loss, you go into the second set. Your play improved, but you relinquished the lead at 13-12 after Carly hit an ace, I believe, is deep down the line. And it seemed like the light on your side was flickering there. But that's just from an observer standpoint. But obviously, something else happened as we now know the end result. Um, but you regathered and mounted an 8-2 run to get to championship point. What discussion was happening between you at starting at 2015? I mean, it looked like there was minimal interaction, but you guys were saying something to each other, because you were down by so much. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, not looking so good for Avery and Geena right now.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Savvy Simo afterwards. She was like, I went to go grab a burger at 2015. And then here
That's
and
what friends are for.
yeah, uh, I feel like I feel like we didn't really communicate that much. It was kind of like, hey, like let's just keep pushing. Um, like it's kind of, like a never quit mentality. But I was doing a lot more self-talk in my own mind of things that I've worked on with my sports psych, Dr. J, of kind of like, all right, like anything is possible. You got this, like you're a badass. So yeah, that was kind of like what happened, I think, when I went back to go serve. Um, but then I also felt like it was kind of like my mind was also quiet at the same time, and there wasn't a lot of thoughts going on. It was kind of just like letting my training do the work.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Avery, at that point where, unfortunately, got to bring this up, your service error made it 2015, but what was going through your head when you realized, oh my gosh, they've got set point and they're going to have 5 championship point opportunities?
Yeah, if I'm being so honest, I don't really remember. I was just kind of in the moment and trying to focus on the next thing at hand. Like I'm Gina's now serving, or we got the point back, so Gina's now serving, and my job is blocking, so I was just focused on trying to get some touches and let Gina run around back there. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had to like write down the play-by-play because I mean I'm still mind blown at how that turnaround happened. So match points or championship points serving to 15. Then at 16:20, Geena roll shot. 17:20, two huge digs and some keeping them off balance by you, Avery. And then Carly ended up getting the attack error. Service ace to make it 18:20. And then two more clutch digs by Geena, 19:20. Extended rally, what I call a dig fest between Carly and Geena, and then leading to the Carly attack error. Then another ace for you, Geena, to give you guys the set point, and then big stuff block by Avery on Devin, who looked like she took a pretty big rip to force that third set tiebreak. What kind of momentum did that give you guys going into the third set? And let's start with you, Avery.
Yeah, I actually think my block was the last point of the third set. So I think Gina actually had the kill on the second set. So I was like, you know what, let's go, Gina. But I think we were both like, that just that just happened. Now we have nothing to lose. Let's just go full force. And the momentum was back on our side at that point. So our rhythm was good and we were feeling pretty confident, I feel like.
Yeah. Now, Jenny, you stayed pretty calm, cool, collected going into that third set. I mean, you're pretty even keeled all the way through. Is that intentional in your style of play?
Yeah, it's also kind of my personality. I tend to be like
You're
pretty.
just the cool cat.
No, I just, like my voice also doesn't carry. So even if I tried to yell, you couldn't even hear it anyway. So, and I was just, it's kind of like an energy conservation thing too. It's hot. This is our sixth match of the weekend. And I feel like Avery, it was nice to play with her because I feel like she has very similar energy. She's got some fire, but it was kind of like, all right, like we executed, let's move on to the next point and take care of business. So yeah, the third set, it was nice to get that early lead and then just kind of all we needed to do was then to side out after that. And then any defensive point we got was kind of a bonus.
Yeah. How are you, Avery?
Yeah, I mean, nothing much more to add. Just keeping the momentum on our side. Like Gina said, early lead was awesome, and we're confident in our side out game. So just making sure we side out first ball from there on out.
Now, I know that your teammates had been eliminated in the previous round, and Kelly Bellardi and Charlotta Bell, were they courtside there with you?
They were up at the little high perch to look down on the court. Yeah, but Billy was there also. I could hear him yelling, and he got me some water mid-game. So that was crucial by him.
Well, I thought maybe he'd be sitting in your guys' box coaching or going crazy, one of the two. Um, but he looked like you guys were really playing well together. I mean, to get that kind of a comeback, which I mean, I was saying earlier, it was one of the top comebacks I've seen in my entire career in working matches. Um, Looking back at how that all transpired through that tournament and the way that championship match um, finally finished, what are your thoughts after seeing the AVP Denver Open and becoming the 2025 champs? And we'll start with you, Geena.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty special. I have played in that tournament a couple times and I think to do it with somebody of Avery's caliber and of her generation is even more special. So yeah, it's really cool. And I'm just super grateful that she took a chance on me as well and took away some of her time at home to play with me. So I'm pretty grateful.
How about you, Avery?
Yeah, I mean, just awesome first experience. I got to meet so many people throughout this whole process, and I think that's gonna help me like in the coming years. And so just glad that I have that experience and that I can start playing more tournaments like that in the future.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you this. I know I didn't send these questions to you guys at this point, but Geena, I've got to ask if you've, and I say this with the utmost respect, this is your 86th AVP. It was Avery's first. So, but if
Yeah.
you could compare her to a partner you've played with in the past or against, who would that be?
Gosh, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's hard to compare. It's hard to compare her. She's Avery, and I just think that it's so cool to see somebody like of her age who's so mature and who's so driven and who has such like a good head on her shoulders. So I can't think of anybody because I feel like she's unique in herself.
Okay, that's an
Thanks,
answer that
Geena.
works.
Yeah, yeah.
That's sweet.
How about you, Avery? You've had a few teammates here, not necessarily AVP teammates, but does Geena remind you of any teammates that you played with?
Um, I mean, I played with two different people this past collegiate season, so if I was going to compare her to those two, I would say she's most like Kelly, just because she's so calm, cool, and collected. We get a point, she gets a insane dig to kill, convert, and then she's like, okay, next point, like so nonchalant about it, you know it? And I feel like that's how Kelly operates. So yeah.
Oh, I was actually going to say Brooke, because if the mic was turned off, I look at the style of play and just her swing and all that. Brooke is kind of like Geena, but Kelly is a good call too. And you're referring to Kelly Bellardi for our listeners. So just so you know, who was a contributor to College Volleyball Weekly, which, we kind of enjoy having her around because she's a great analyst. Um, my next
Actually,
question.
sorry, I did think of somebody.
Okay, let's do it. Let's hear it.
Is Emily Day. I played with
Oh,
Day for one tournament, but Emily was such a great supportive partner and same kind of thing. Like she was super smart, super intentional, and was just very even keel and well-rounded, I would say, in that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is this, and this is going to go towards Avery. What's next? You've won first. Are there more AVPs in store for you in the future? You've set a new
Um,
bar. Play in your first, win the championship in your first, and call it a career, right?
no, 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 no. I mean, the next month I'm going home, getting some rest, and then I'm gonna play MBO, and then I'm back at school. But yeah, MBO is my next AVP, and then hopefully more next summer and for a lot of summers to come.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask the follow-up question because Geena, you're already in MBO, I believe. Is that correct? And that so with that, you guys have the auto berth and that goes down. But Avery, who do you end up playing? Was that a decision to be made still, or you?
Yeah, I'm planning to play with Brooke Rockwell right now.
Oh, wow. The college partner. Gotta love it. How about you, Geena? What's up next for you? I know the answer, but I'd rather have you say it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing at the Intuit Dome this weekend for the LA League, and then I have LA League in New York City at Central Park, which would be awesome. And then I'm currently trying to figure out MBO right now, given that Tony's hurt. So and Devin who Newberry, who I'm playing in the league with, she's gonna play MBO with Jaden. So yeah, kind of trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Well, coming out of a good weekend, I hope you have some excellent momentum and sharing a little side story because there is a similarity between both of you. And I do this because I'm such a dinosaur in the game. But back in your low sal days, I remember Geena Urango getting like 75% of the sets for that Griffin team, going up against Newport Harbor in that CIF Southern Section State Championship and dominating. Similarly, working Durango Fall Classic 2 falls ago, I remember going to a school called Dallas Hockaday and seeing Avery getting like 90% of the sets, putting all the balls away. So seem like two dominating players. And I'm telling you, it is an honor to be able to see both of you play, not only during those times of your career, but this last weekend. So there's a little special connection to seeing what you guys did. And I can only say congratulations to your Denver Open victory. And I'm looking forward to not only the rest of this AVP season, but the years to come. But for Avery, because have a pulse on the collegiate beach season, and that's how I get connected to all you AVP pros. But I cannot thank you both enough for jumping on so last minute. I'm going to get this out as quickly as possible. It's Geena Urango, Avery Jackson, the 2025 AVP Denver Open champions. Avery's first, Geena's 86th event, her first championship, her second first place. So, ladies, I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you so much. It was
Thanks,
really
Rob.
kind words. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to College Volleyball Weekly. Be sure to follow Rob Espero at the Rob on the Mic on Instagram and at Rob on the Mic on Twitter.